The Thomas Asylum of Orphan and Destitute Indian Children was operated by the state of New York from 1875 to 1957. More than 2,500 students from across New York attended the school and were subjected to all manners of degradation.
Instead of being a haven for orphaned children, it became a place of nightmares, a place some would call a torture chamber, a site of sanctioned ethnic cleansing is what was going here. Try to eradicate the long, proud story of the Senecas and other places. This occurred from Canada and elsewhere in our country. Children were forcibly removed from their families, stripped of their names, their languages, and their traditions. Sometimes they were subjected to unimaginably horrific physical, emotional, and sexual assaults. These atrocities occurred for more than 100 years. They were known by the state of New York, 75 years of which it was owned by the state. And what has happened, there's been a long legacy of broken promises throughout the 19th and 20th centuries that continue today to affect the families, sometimes resulting in this generational trauma that I heard so clearly is so prevalent.
The Thomas Indian School was originally established by Presbyterian missionaries in 1855 and taken over by the state 2 decades later. It was among more than 400 government-supported schools established throughout the country to assimilate Native American youths. Last year, President Biden issued a nationwide apology.
I formally apologize as President of the United States of America for what we did. I formally apologize.
Now New York's governor has added her voice to the healing effort.
I, Governor Kathy Hochul, apologize to the Seneca Nation of Indians and survivors and descendants from all nations who attended the Thomas Indian School. And I recognize, on behalf of the people of this state, the atrocities that were committed there and the enduring trauma that's been inflicted upon the Seneca and all indigenous peoples across our state. And that is why I recommit to the truth, the justice, the reconciliation, accountability, and healing that must begin today and forward into the future. With that, I'll present a proclamation to President Seneca.
Seneca President J. Conrad Seneca, whose father attended the school, thanked the governor for her apology.
Thank you, Governor. We really appreciate that, and your apology and your words today mean a great deal to us, and we look forward to continued building our relationship together.
But he also reminded everyone why they were there.
Today is about the children and the families that they had to endure the hardships and mistreatment that occurred here on this piece of land at this campus of the Thomas Indian School. And so, as we gather today, let's remember them.
The governor vowed that her apology would not be a hollow gesture and that her budget blueprint will propose new education materials about local indigenous communities, calling it a first step. President Seneca told ICT he was prepared to be optimistic.
Yeah, I've been on a process of engagement and advocacy since I started my presidency, and we've gained some good ground in regards to relationships in the legislature in Albany and also with the governor's office. And so we want to continue that. We want to build on that. And the governor has committed to me in regards to working on that together to have a better relationship as we move down the road.
For ICT, I'm Stuart Huntington.
For more on the boarding school apology, I'd like to bring in national correspondent Marionette Pember. She's covered the boarding school era stories for decades. Welcome, Marionette.
Hi, Shirley. Good to be here.
Marionette, what makes this apology different?
Well, it was very strongly worded. Governor Hochul described the treatment that children received at boarding schools as ethnic cleansing. And I don't think we've seen anybody in leadership, from the Pope to the Premier in Canada to any of the to the apology here in the United States, or any of the states, offer such a strongly worded apology.
And where do we go to from here?
You know, I think one of the notable things about any of the apologies, that there are no deliverables directly tied to them. And I think that's an important step that people really want to see. They want to see, deliverables in terms of recording the history, making it available to people and teaching it in schools potentially, and then offering, mental health supports for survivors and their descendants.
We'll see where this story goes. Thanks for joining me, Marionette Pember, ICT National Correspondent.
Thanks for having me, Shirley.